Hello? I found a body. I suppose this is police I want, isn't it?
A man was coshed. 2 hours ago he was fine, and now?
Didn't do nothing.
What'd you say?
You deaf?
You're mumbling.
It's these thick lips. Michelin. See? I said it for you.
Okay, let's skip the racist bit. Let's get back to this afternoon. You were there.
No.
Yes, you were. You saw it. You must have seen it.
Anyone ever tell you?
Tell me what?
You got a smashing pair of boobs.
Do you think so?
Oh, terrific. I'll give a week's wages to ball you, lady.
How old are you, Jackie?
17.
Well, I can still give a 17-year-old boy the hots. You've made my day.
Come on, Doc, loosen your skates a bit, eh?
It's 8 p.m., the 14th, and she's dead. Do you want me to discuss the traces of petechial hemorrhage? Rap on about the relaxation of sphincter muscles?
How long's she been dead? Educated guess.
Yesterday.
What time yesterday?
Yesterday?
Rigor mortis just beginning to go off. That means what, at least 25 hours?
That's it.
Was she electrocuted?
Unlucky if she was.
How come?
A lot of people can take 240 volts. Walk away smiling.
Anything else?
Nope.
Photographer's finished in here, Gov.
Yeah, you informed the coroner's office?
Why?
I'm not sure anyone's going to ask him anything. Not ever again.
What time did you get home?
About 20 minutes ago.
Anyone verify? How long was it before you called us?
I did it straight away.
The call was logged at 7:11.
And that's about right.
Why did you go in there?
My lights had fused.
You went for help.
Help to mend a fuse? What are you, a Bow Street runner?
So, why did you go in there?
The fuse box is in his kitchen. It's always happening.
You had a key.
Yes.
You own the other flat.
No, wish I did.
Who does?
Someone called Howard.
Howard something?
Something Howard, who's in America or Africa or somewhere. Told me once he'd flown 1,000,000 miles.
That's a lot of chicken salad.
Isn't it?
So, how come you have a key?
His pipe froze once, flooded me out. Seemed easier if I had one.
Well, maybe he just liked the idea of you holding his key.
Maybe.
You touch anything up there?
No.
What about the phone?
The phone, yes.
And the door?
The door, yes. Well, I had to get in, didn't I?
Anything else?
The curtains, they were pulled.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. It was too dark to see.
Was the door locked?
Yes, Yale. You just have to pull it shut.
Who is she?
You tell me.
Ever see her before?
Never.
Is that yours?
Yes.
How come you only have one earring?
I took it off to answer the telephone.
Up there?
Yes. No, It's on the table.
So, when Mr. Howard's away, the flat is empty?
Not usually, not for long.
What does that mean?
It means the key lives on the shelf in the garage. Half of London seems to know about it.
Which half?
I don't understand.
What type of people?
You're not very imaginative, are you?
Well, I'm a copper. I'm not paid to be imaginative.
What are you paid for?
Listen to people like you being imaginative. It's much more fun.
It's a love nest.
A lovely old-fashioned phrase.
Yes. You seen that Jack Lemmon movie?
China syndrome.
No, years ago. What's it called? It's about him and he has a flat and a key, and the key keeps going around the office. The apartment.
Who's been in there recently?
I don't know. I've been away.
Where?
Milan.
Business?
Sort of.
What sort of business?
I'm a model.
You've got a job. You're earning. Prospects. What do they do with their lives? Come on, Jackie. Time to start thinking about yourself.
Dead?
Not yet. Not officially. I talk now before it comes to that. Say the word murder, they're like a starting pistol. They fall over themselves to talk. Don't worry about them. They won't worry about you, believe me. Now you just tell me what happened.
They won't know it's me. Who told you?
Of course not.
Well, she had to get here somehow, didn't she? Didn't come on a broomstick, step down off a cloud. That means buses, taxis, minicabs.
There's a bus stop down on the parade, just outside the deli.
She came by bus, she had to walk up here. Maybe she's done that a dozen times. Means someone must have seen her. Came by car, she had to get out of the car. Taxis make people curious. Never walked up a muse in my life without some chauffeur being out there washing his jan job. Right, you two, house to house, off you go. Jimbo, these flowers.
Local florist. Greengrocers?
Definitely. A few straggly freesias. Now, what does that suggest to you? Yeah, well, I'll tell you what it suggests to me. It suggests to me that someone wasn't any too flush.
Fair amount of bread in her handbag.
Maybe it was the other person, then, if there was one.
Oh, man.
Not necessarily. Don't jump to conclusions. Keep an open mind. Shouldn't be too difficult for you.
In my dustbin.
So?
So whoever put it there didn't know which dustbin belonged to which flat.
Logical. What about the cork?
No cork. One thing's for sure. The dead woman didn't put it in there.
Is that so sure?
After she was dead?
Unlikely. So how about before?
See what you mean. A whole bottle of champagne for one person.
Possible.
Unlikely, though.
We'll get it fingerprinted.
Mine will be on it somewhere.
We'll get yours done, too. You ever drink at the Duke of Clarence?
Why do you ask when you know the answer already?
They're well briefed about you in there.
Oh, yes?
Anyone sleeps tonight, it won't be our fault. You were saying about my friends at the Clarence.
I don't have to apologise
I don't want
or
you to.
explain.
It's a job,
Yes.
like any other. Don't believe you.
Don't. And if you have no more questions,
Time is money.
beautifully put.
Hi, Jimmy.
All right, watch you. You get a cough.
Of course.
Clever girl.
So, what you got here?
Sudden death. It's that flex, no earth, frayed wire. She switches on the bedside lamp. Pow.
Master?
Probably.
Suicide? Murder?
Don't know.
You don't know who she is.
That's it. List of train times, buses, stagecoaches. That's all we've got to go on.
Handbag?
There's nothing much in it.
Checkbooks, credit cards. Okay to look?
Sure. That's scent.
Rich for my blood.
Drop that on the station worked wonders.
Let's try it. What about her clothes? Any tailor's tickets, makers' labels, things like that?
No,
What's she wearing?
a slip.
On the right way?
Eh?
Inside out, back to front.
No.
Laundry marks?
Who uses a laundry these days?
You can afford one.
Same thing.
Any distinctive jewellery?
No,
She wasn't trying, was she?
not really.
Wedding ring?
Yeah,
Initials?
plain gold band.
Just found this.
It's a midget suicide note.
Receipt from a wine shop.
Dated yesterday.
How much?
$6.25.
What would that buy?
Champagne.
That was quick.
Where's the wine shop?
It's the branch down the road, opposite the deli.
Yeah. You'd better check it out, Maggie. All the paths.
Right.
Now, tell me, lover, do you find anything in any of the other dustbins?
Not yet.
Number of bones in the human body? 64, 103, 200?
206.
Good. Name of the smallest blood vessel?
Capillary.
Breathing rate of the normal, healthy human adult?
20 per minute.
18 to 20. Where are the taste buds?
In the thumb.
Anywhere else?
No.
Tongue and 3 places in the throat.
3.
Name of the second layer of skin?
Dermis.
Name of the girl you nipped off to meet yesterday afternoon? Oh, I've never known you be secretive before. Must be serious.
I don't want to talk about it, do I?
You must.
Well, what do you want to know, Peter?
Everything. Who is she? Do I know her? When do I meet her? What did you do? Apart from the obvious. When are you seeing her again?
Why do you bother with signs, Peter? I mean, it's obvious where you're heading, sonny. Poor old Nigel Dempster, he won't know what's hit him.
Best form of defence.
What is?
Attack.
You finished your questions, haven't
Slinking off, posy of flowers, ponced up with my aftershave.
you? Can we get back to the quiz, Peter?
I'll find out, you know.
Next.
Missing persons? Still waiting to hear.
Mental homes. Fingerprints.
As soon as the pathologist gives the okay.
No checkbook, letters, library cards, nothing like that?
No.
Seems you went to some lengths not to be traced.
Someone did it for her.
Yeah, what about these train times?
Return ticket in her coat pocket. Liverpool Street, Bishop Stortford.
Have it away, then. I'll get the local factory to show her photo around the Bishop's office station.
First thing we did, it's in the mill.
Well, someone must know her down there.
Must. Hello. Now, which one of those kids was it? Was it Gary? One in the tracksuit?
Yeah, slugged him with a kosh.
Did I tell you?
What's the news from the wine shop?
She bought it yesterday. It was champagne, you were right. And she was in a taxi and the taxi waited outside.
Run a check on all the local taxi drivers, particularly those operating out of Liverpool Street.
Will do.
The man in the shop said he thought she wasn't alone.
Well, what made him say that? You see someone?
No, he didn't actually see anything.
He's psychic.
He thought that while he was wrapping the bottle, she might have waved to somebody out of sight.
Might have waved.
His words.
Cautious, isn't he?
He also said he thought she was nervous.
Thought?
Thought.
He's a bit of a bloody thinker, this one.
Well, why do you say that?
Just the way she behaved. Slight hurry, didn't want to stop and chat, things like that.
Was he reliable?
So, 50-ish, busybody, on about the price of paint.
So she might not have been alone, and she might have been nervous.
Coming here to electrocute herself. That'd make her nervous.
I think she wouldn't have come with somebody.
If she did.
Coming here to electrocute herself, she wouldn't have stopped off to buy champagne.
Why not? I mean, I don't know. If I was going to pull the pin, I wouldn't say no to a drop of Dutch courage.
Not champagne.
Why not?
No, I agree.
Why?
Nothing. No? Okay. If she gets back or calls in, I'll be in the company flat later. She has the number. I'll ring you again in the morning. Good night.
Yes, Brian.
What are you wearing?
Bra and pants.
Seriously.
Skirt, Angora sweater, high heels.
Let's eat.
Where?
That's why I asked what you were wearing. Café Royal? Etoile? Trader Vic's?
What about the Ivy?
No. As I'm paying, you can look at me. Anyway, I told you, he's bent.
But beautifully bent.
Book something for past. I'm going to have a wash.
Did you get your phone call, Pete? It's bad news. Bit of a puzzle. What is it? It's my mother. She'd done a bunk. What? Vanished. Gone up her own rope. People don't just vanish. She has. When? 2 days ago. Where? Nobody knows. She drove off in her car. Cars turned up in the car park at the local station and she hasn't been seen since. What did the police say? Nothing. Why not? Dad hasn't told them. It's a bit silly, Pete, isn't it? Oh, he's like that. Man of mystery. Left hand hasn't seen his right in 10 years. It's turning your back on the inevitable, that, isn't it? Well, depends. Temporary amnesia, something like that. Don't want the big bad fuzz camped out in your private life. Yeah, newspapers, eh? And a cheap laugh for everybody with 10p in their pockets. No, she'd probably... slipping her key in the front door this very minute. You don't sound that worried. I'm not. They're not Darby and Joan, you know. A pair of human bookends. Now, a few years back, my dad, well, couldn't say for sure what continent he was in, never mind what country. She could be lying dead in some ditch somewhere, you know, Pete. Fierce streak of northern optimism. Yeah, it's possible, though, isn't it? But more likely, she's caught my dad with his hand up his secretary's skirt. She's probably in Amsterdam, having a good sulk. She'll come back with a facelift, a new wardrobe, and it'll all be on his diner's card. That's the way they live. It's your typical gin and tonic belt marriage. Oh, I know it's not like that in Yorkshire. Stockton is in Yorkshire. Hey, you coming with me to listen to Forsdyke on the miracles of the Middle Ear?
No, Peter. I think I'll leave that to you. I've got to kill this by lunch, you see.
OK. See you later.
Yeah, see you.
Oh, should there be any news... Oh, skip it. There won't be.
Have you read his statement? How carefully? Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm getting at. Is what the schools call educationally subnormal. Like thick as the proverbial, right? Come in. Yet he tells exactly the same story 3 times, almost exactly the same words, same expression, same vocabulary. Stinks like last month's fish. Yeah, you do that, George. Alcohol oxidizes rapidly in the system. Within 24 hours of ingestion will have disappeared.
Oh, get away.
10 o'clock in the morning already. I've had a medical lesson.
At all?
As of?
So, what do I do?
So you get on your bike, check out Mr. Rylands, yeah?
Right.
And, take Inspector Croft with you.
Yes?
Yes.
Mrs. Rylands?
Yes?
What sort of health scene?
Who?
Your boss.
Mr. Rylands?
Hey, Mr. Rylands.
Pretty fit. Jogs, diets, doesn't use the lift. Well, not a lot.
All things in moderation.
I suppose.
Any history of heart trouble?
Not that I know of. I'm only his secretary, you know.
Only.
You know Mrs. Rylands was missing.
Yes, he told me.
Did he tell you why he hadn't called the police?
Don't answer that. What the hell is this?
Police. Detective Inspector Forbes, Detective Inspector Croft.
And what do you want?
We have reason to believe that we found your wife's body.
Body?
I'm afraid so. heart attack.
Well, where was this?
In a West End mews flat. You any idea what she was doing there, sir? When did you last see her?
I left her Wednesday, was it? Everything normal. Said she was doing some pruning in the garden.
Who were you, sir, Wednesday afternoon between 2 and 5?
Oh, easy. I was with my bankers till about 7.
It would be hard to verify that.
Well, not at all.
Why didn't you call the police, report her missing?
Inspector, it is, Inspector. Collisand leads are for dogs, not people. I or my wife go off for 2 nights. We're not missing persons. We've gone off for 2 nights. You get my meaning?
Perfectly.
Is she all right?
Was your wife insured?
Yes, of course. That's a hell of a sneaky question.
It had to be asked sooner or later, sir, either by us or the coroner.
I didn't quite catch the answer.
You didn't catch it, Yes, she was insured, well insured. Satisfied?
Life or accident?
Both, I imagine.
Which company?
I don't remember. Ask my brokers. Linda has the
Do
details.
you remember who benefits from her death?
Well, me. Who else?
I wouldn't know.
Or maybe Peter, our son. I'm not
Any
sure.
idea of the sums involved?
150,000, I wouldn't know.
That's a lot of money.
To some people.
Oh, I don't know. I reckon most folk would say 100,000 was a fair bit of money. Wouldn't you, Maggie?
What was her recent mental condition, sir?
What's that mean?
Or would you say, for example, that she was depressed?
Well, where's this heading?
Towards you answering whether or not she was depressed.
No, no depression.
Had there been some sort of row?
No.
Any social, financial worries?
No.
Wasn't there something about you in one of last Sunday's papers?
They're printing a retraction next Sunday. Really?
Has she any cause to be disappointed by anything?
No cause.
You wouldn't say she was of unsound mind?
Don't talk rot.
You must remember, sir, that we didn't actually have the benefit of knowing her.
Had you ever threatened suicide?
What's his name?
Croft. C-R-O-F-T. You want answers, you ask questions.
Do I have to identify the body?
Yes.
Now?
Whenever you feel up to it.
Let's do it.
Yes, Mr. Rylands.
I'm going out with these police officers. Cancel my lunch with Sir Alec. Usual apologies. I'll call him later this afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Rylands. Don't forget your...
Do I need my car?
Have this one. Nice.
It's her.
Would you like a moment alone?
You said a Mews flat?
That's correct.
I'd like to see it.
Whenever you say.
Now. Was she wearing lipstick?
I've no idea.
What clothes? Oh, don't go coy on me. Friend Croft will tell me, smacking his lips as he does so.
She was in a slip. Full-length slip.
That's all. Who was with her?
What makes you think she wasn't alone?
Oh, don't play games with me, please.
I'll repeat the question.
Because
What
it's a
makes-
knocking shop. That's why everybody comes here has one purpose in mind.
How do you know that?
How do you think?
I've no idea.
Oh, dear God, because I used to come here myself. It's a lot grottier than I remembered.
Did you ever bring her here?
For a bright woman, that's a hell of a silly question.
Well, I thought perhaps before you were married. So how does she know?
Puzzling, isn't it? How many flats in London? 500,000? That's 500,000 to 1. Long odds, isn't it?
Very.
So are they the same books?
Why did you ask about the lipstick?
Very fussy person. Always removed her lipstick before making love. And if she knew, which she obviously did, she'd known for 4 years and 11 months.
Very precise.
It was the last time I came here. June, 75. I brought a girl here. It was the fag end of the romance, the cold cuts, the scene where you say, I don't know how I'm going to live without you.
But from tomorrow I'm going to try.
And while she was washing out the handkerchiefs, I went to the cinema, the classic on the corner. Got back, there was the uniform Bobby in there, all helmet and notebook. The old sleeping pills routine.
Dead?
No, she'd made a couple of calls first. Left the requisite number of clues. The old place lost its charm after that. 5 years. And she'd never breathed a word. You solved that one for me, Inspector? There was an off license in the parade. I expect it's gone by now.
Still going strong.
I used to pop in there.
To buy a bottle of champagne.
How did you know?
What any true romantic would do.
Who's paying?
For what?
For my time. I've been here half an hour already.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did say I was busy.
It's the number of behinds I get in the seat of my cab. That's all I'm worried about, mate.
You're being public-spirited, aren't you?
I was. But now I'm regretting it.
So you drove Mrs. Rylance to the flat, eh?
Well, I drove a woman in the photograph. That happens to be this here Mrs. Rowlands, and that's who I drove.
Rylance. All right, let's go through it first, and we'll get it all down on paper, all right?
Leave off. How long's that going to take?
Where'd you pick her up? Where?
Liverpool Street.
Did you stop anywhere on the way to the flat?
Yeah, a wine shop. She went in to buy something.
$64 question.
And then can I go?
Who was with her?
Her son.
Son?
Yeah, nice kid. 20-ish.
Why did you think it was her son?
Well, because I'm good at relationships. I'm always doing it.
Doing what?
Putting people together. Matchmaking.
Go on.
Look, I see 4 people on a park bench, right? I pair them off. Mr. and Mrs. Baker, Mrs. and Miss Butcher. Happy families.
I can't remember broken home myself. Do you ever talking?
I've got my mind on the road, haven't I?
Tell me one thing they said.
I couldn't, mate.
Like names. What'd she call him?
I don't remember.
All right, what'd he call her?
Bambi.
You sure?
Of course I'm sure. How can I make a mistake with a name like that?
Bambi.
It's the name of a deer. You know, Walt Disney.
Get away.
No, it's true.
A mine of information, aren't they?
Well, I'm into kids, me. I love them. You got any?
Leave off. Haven't met our old lady yet. So why did you think it was her son, eh?
Well, their ages.
And?
And the way she behaved.
Like what?
Oh, she went into the shop. She paid for the flowers. She was the governor, you know what I mean?
Now, what if I told you that they were,
Oh, leave it off. She was old enough to be his mother.
still good looking, though, eh?
As it happens, very tasty.
You wouldn't have minded getting a leg over yourself.
Now, that depends.
On what?
On whose time it was in and who was paying.
You got a one-track mind, you know that?
I got a meter. I like to hear it ticking. It's like sweet music. I'll grant you one thing, though.
Oh, don't do anything you'll regret.
On second thoughts.
Nothing like it.
It didn't seem that much like mother and son.
No?
Ah, a bit too sort of, larky, you know what I mean?
No, but you'll tell me.
That was a one-off. Here, you ever smoke pot?
What's that got to do with it?
I seen people smoking that stuff, mate. Can't stop laughing. Stupidest thing, busting a gut. It was all a bit like that, says Adams. Sort of unreal.
Philosophical cab driver. God help us.
Can I go?
No.
Why not?
Now we're going to put it all down on paper.
Oh, yeah? But I've changed my story. I never saw her.
Sit down.
And what if I don't?
I'll nick you for wasting police time.
Here. He was a Geordie.
Who was?
Jack the lad.
How'd you know?
Well, I heard him rabbiting.
Come on, you wouldn't know a Geordie accent from a felt tip pen.
Listen, do you like football?
Hate it.
Well, you know the manager of Southampton, that
Laurie,
big-
what's his name?
That's him. He's a Geordie.
Oh, tell me who's in the cab and all.
Only his accent.
You describe him.
Time for my lunch.
I'll get you a sandwich.
I don't want a sandwich. I want to go back to bleating work.
Description.
It's time for my lunch. All right. Where do I start?
Oh, a bit like a gravedigger. You start at the top and work your way down to the bottom.
That's you, presumably.
Gordon F. Hooper? Private inquiries? Yeah.
That's me. Different address, that's all.
Some disagreement about the payment or the non-payment of the rent.
Was there? I don't remember.
I found your card amongst my wife's papers. I should have said my late wife.
Oh, that's
Did you ever work for her, Mr. Hooper?
Well, like it says here, discretion guaranteed.
Even beyond the grave?
Well, the quarry agent has his ethics just like anyone else. Mind you, can't afford to be too hidebound about these things, eh?
Gordon F? F as in flexibility?
Yeah. I mean, there's no sense in being dog in the manger, eh?
None at all. So what's it cost, Mr. Hooper, to gain your cooperation?
Should we say...
No, you say.
How about 200?
P?
P for pounds?
£200 for a couple of questions.
Well, you know what they say. The questions come cheap. It's the answers that cost the money.
I thought 50 was nearer the mark.
Do you know I've lost a morning's work answering your call?
You're busy.
Very hectic.
According to Mr. Ching, the acupuncturist, you haven't had a client in a month.
What, old Chinky Chonky? How would he know?
You share the same waiting room?
Yeah, but there's no carriage trade. I mean, the phone never stops.
That's not what he says.
All right. All right, live and let live. 50.
When did you work for her?
Do you know, I think better sitting down.
When?
5 years ago.
What sort of work?
Domestic.
What's that mean?
She thought you were messing around.
Was I?
Well, matrimonially speaking, yeah.
What sort of things did you do?
Well, tailed you for a couple of weeks. Daily reports. Mind you, your lifestyle was a bit more modest in those days.
My ship hadn't come in. What sort of places did we go?
Oh, dark restaurants, bars, those sort of places.
Anywhere else, Mr. Hooper?
Yeah. Used to go to a Mews flat over by Crawford Street. There's a key in the garage.
Did my wife ever go there?
Well, you couldn't prove it by me. Mind you, I took some photos for her.
Exterior or interior?
Both.
How did you get in?
Key. I mean, sauce for the goose.
Then what?
Well, the next thing I knew, there was a cheque in the post. I was paid off. Bob's your uncle.
You go into Boots, buy a packet of blades, pay the girl, walk out. You think that's affected her? Changed the course of her life? Think she remembers you after you've gone? Shape of your face, the colour of your hair?
Oh, of course not.
Same with me. Doesn't touch me.
Never?
Do you think you're different, special? Is that what you're saying? The man with the golden cock.
No.
Last time a man touched me was...
Go on.
way back in the Midlands. Another life.
You sure you're not kidding yourself?
When it's over, it's like nothing's happened. Niente.
So, what chance of you building a proper relationship? Sustaining it?
I don't want one.
What do you want?
Money. A lot fast and out. That's all.
Little cottage in the Lake District. A few roses round the door, couple of hens.
Ah, bore. What I want is a hairdressing salon. Somewhere in West Bridgeford. Nice corner site, where women can't pass without popping in for a shampoo and set.
A crimper.
You know your trouble, don't you?
Tell me,
You're a sucker.
am I?
Yeah. All moody. I meet your type all the time.
Type? Oh, I just love to be called a type.
Some woman's done a knife job on you.
Has she?
Sliced them clean off. All tough exterior. But inside, you're just a coneful of Mr. Softy.
How do you do it, Hen? Tea leaves? Yeah, hello. Say that again. Hold on. Sheik from Bahrain wants you at his hotel in 20 minutes.
Must we keep him waiting? Must we? Hello? Speaking?
It was bad enough her being found in that place.
I'm sure.
But even worse now, it was broadcast all over the newspapers. She has friends, family, respectable people.
Well, this isn't Fleet Street, you know. We don't broadcast.
But isn't there something we can do to help keep it under wraps? Mrs. X or something?
Well, there's nothing we'll do to play it up. You can rely on that.
But surely if you don't tell them I was her husband, no?
Sorry, not my province, Mr. Rylance.
Look, I'm asking a favour.
Then I'm saying there's nothing I can do.
Having to come here and ask at all, it isn't easy.
I can imagine.
This is a sensitive time for me, business-wise. Highly sensitive. Certain deals are in the pipeline. They're contingent on lots of outside factors.
Mr. Rylance, please, the point.
Surely, if we put our heads together, a mutual course of action, adequately funded, naturally.
Mr. Rylance, your wife died in an unfortunate place in unfortunate circumstances.
Well, that's my point, unfortunate.
No one forced her to go there, nobody twisted her arm. She took a chance with tragic consequences.
But, like I say, if we put our heads together, the two of us, I know it would cost money.
Mr. Rylance, forgive me for being slow, but you're not trying to bribe me, are you?
Of course not. No. I'm just saying that Barbara's name could be kept out of this. I don't know how, but I know it can be done, and I'm asking you to tell me how.
The harder you work at trying to conceal a name, suppress it, greater the chance someone picking it up, giving it a puff. Take my advice, leave it. Let it take its natural course.
Natural course, that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
God help us.
Bambi? Was that a nickname for your wife?
How the hell did you know?
Was it?
Well, when I first met her, she was kicking around with somebody else. He called her Bambi. I didn't. I didn't like it or him.
Anybody else use it?
Nobody. To my knowledge, the name hasn't been used in, 20-odd years.
I see.
What are you doing here, Meg?
In your head, it's too realistic.
I've heard it all.
Strange couple break off on the verge of making love to wash up a couple of wine glasses.
Isn't it? So maybe he washed up after she was dead.
Maybe. What's the photo of it like of the boy?
Cross between Anna Ford and Terry Savalas.
Well, that should give us something to work on.
Well, say she was on the bed. He'd be where? In the kitchen.
Doing what?
Yeah. They'd had a couple of glasses by now. So he's away. She starts to worry about getting back. So she pulls out the envelope with the train times. Now, it's dark over there. The old minces aren't what they were, so she flicks on the light. Bingo.
Okay, I'll go along with that.
Next question. What sort of creep is it that'd walk out on her? What sort of animal is that?
Very young and very frightened.
You'll be able to make the funeral all right.
Of course.
You haven't said much about it.
Wasn't sure if you wanted to talk.
A mess, a stinking mess. Cuckolded over every newspaper in town.
If you read them, they don't actually say anything.
They don't have to.
Can't believe it. I'll never see her again. Think about something else for a minute. I keep coming back to it. Can't believe it.
You should have been... She'd known about the flat for years. And never breathed a word. What kind of a woman's that?
Too late to find out now.
Reliable source?
Highly.
Okay, leave it with me. Oh, by the way, as regards Mrs. Rylance, it's now officially a domestic situation, accidental death, etc. We're finished with it.
Fair enough. Before we finally drop it, why do you look at me like that?
Got to you, is it?
Not really. There's just one thing I'd like to do.
What's that?
I'd like to talk to the son, Peter.
He's already given a statement?
No, not to me.
Why?
I think he might have told us something.
Well, something he learned since yesterday. How long?
10 minutes there, 10 minutes with him, 10 minutes back.
An hour.
Right.
You hear about Williams?
No.
They turned the cue card over. He's in UCH. They think he might lose a leg.
Oh, God, how awful. I'll phone his wife.
Did Maggie? About the Rylands job.
It's closed.
I know. Russell told me. I just wanted to say that I'd enjoyed working here with you.
Pleasure.
Well, I know we didn't hit it off to start with, but well, we all make mistakes.
That's gracious of you.
Anyway, I thought perhaps we could have supper one evening. Bury the hatchet.
Only place I'd like to bury it is in your skull.
Forgive and forget.
I work with you, Croft, because I have to. What I do in my spare time is my own business. That I'm choosy about. So.
Come in.
Peter Rylands in?
No, not at the moment. Do you want to come in?
Thank you.
Was you expecting you? You didn't say anything.
No, not really. You a cyclist?
Only by force of circumstance.
Souvenir?
What?
Don't know your name, do I?
John. You?
Maggie.
Maggie.
Detective Inspector Maggie Forbes. out. Two of his workmates picked him up, rushed him over to the local hospital. Doctor and sister and casualty gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, thumped him on the chest, etc., etc. He serviced my car last week.
She was dead.
So was he.
I mean, really dead.
You keep telling yourself, John. Just keep telling yourself.